by the late 2000s and early 2010s came the explosion of progressive house. With artists like deadmau5 all the way to European acts like Boris Brejcha and Ben Boimer, started an unstoppable wave of inspiration. The thumping kick with the filtered drums, paired with the driving energetic bass line, and the somewhat fast tempos is a recipe for long nights on a dance floor in energetic spaces. Without further ado, I'm going to break down how I made this track that you hear in the intro that highlights different elements of melodic house and minimal techno. Hey, it's Ant, and welcome to the Ableton session to the song that you heard in the intro. What you see here is the final arrangement laid out in the arrangement screen, but the way I made it was in this view here, the live view, and it allows you to play sequences of loops. Its alternative visual layout, in my opinion, helps take away the thinking process and use your ears more. It's best to imagine each horizontal layer as a different section of the song. Before I get started showing you the different instrument channels, I'll just show you the send effects that I have here. The first one being a reverb with a saturator, just adding a little bit more volume to the reverb itself. Sometimes in Ableton, these send effects come in a little bit quiet. The next, I have a 8-dot ball delay preset, and then the last one being drums boombox. Adds a little bit of beef to the drums when you send it to it. I always end up putting it on there. The kick drum was a simple 909 kit, and I just laid down the 4 on the floor, did a little bit of EQing, and also the basic soft saturator preset. Later on, while I was cooking this project up with multiple instrument layers, I found that the kick drum wasn't hitting evenly, so I put this flatline limiter on, and that evened out every hit and made it hit equally. Next, I moved on to a sample chopping technique for percussion samples that I just learned. First, you quantize the sample and you have it loop how you want it. And then you can convert it to a MIDI track and it just puts it into little slices for you. And you can move the slices around since it's already quantized and it won't sound weird. And you can kind of redesign the pattern of it all. It's a cool way to make a sample chop sound complicated and like you spend a lot of time on it. But in reality, it was just a quick little maneuver. The next thing I added were these claps. It wasn't like a steady clap. This was more so meant to imitate like those drum machine clap sequences of techno music. Pretty much same with these hi-hat patterns. Closed and an open hi-hat. Most of these drums are being sent to a reverb, by the way. The next thing I have is this little snare drum. It's pretty beefy, actually. Almost sounds like a tom when it's being played in context. Next, I add this little tambourine. To make it sound the way it does, you have to mess with the velocities. Pull one of them down. Pulling each one of them down at different spots will allow it to sound more human. The way I have these drums routed, the group is going to an audio channel that I've called DB, or drum bus, and there I am able to control the sound even more. On the group, I have Oak Sound Spiff that I'm just kind of messing around with. I gotta figure it out more before I talk about it low-key. But the big thing here is I sculpted the sound of the drums as a whole with this EQ, this Pultec EQ. It's just filtering out the drums just like this redux effect here. Yeah, and so that was pretty much the drums, and that's what I had established before I even added anything else. But the next thing I added was this dub chord here, which was a sample from this J Dilla sample pack. If you want a sample pack that is similar to this and has one-shots just like this, hit up my email right here. Anyhow, I used this chord and played it an octave lower than it actually was originally. And then I told myself, how can I make this sound deep, echoey, subterranean, arena filtered delay-y. It sounds weird when I say it out loud, but in my head when I was cooking this up, it was really just like delay, EQ, reverb. That's all I was stressing. Next was the bass. It was time to establish a groove, and with this style of music, it's good to include the bass in your drums as soon as possible just to really lock it in with the rhythm going on already. It's just such an important rhythmic element, and it's not delivering much melodic data to the song itself. The first bass was a wavetable that I just manipulated to hit short, and then I doctored it up with a couple effects. The next thing I did was copy and paste the MIDI over to 2 other basses that I loaded in, and these were just stock Ableton basses as well, including a sub, sine, and then a plucky synth that I played in the lower register and added distortion to and made it kind of sound acidy. I arrange it also so different basses will turn on and off at different sections just to manipulate the feeling a little bit. I listened to a lot of Ben Boymer and deadmau5 when I was getting into electronic music, and I feel like this is just directly out of their toolkit, which would be adding like a plucky, arpeggiated synth. This is a synth lead that I found in Ableton called Sweet Lead, and with that lead I play sort of the first melodic idea that comes in during the song. And it's only a quick moment, actually, halfway through. And it also has a complementary harmony. The harmony only comes in at the second half of the 16-bar phrase. Kind of Tiesto-y, kind of folk music-y. Then I add this whole note chord. Very suspenseful. I'm pretty sure it's like a G minor add 9? Who knows? Who knows? Who actually knows? It's buttery though. It's just holding diamonds. I just turn it on and off at different parts of the song. I don't really know what I was thinking. Anyhow, the next thing I had was this vocal chop.
On the arsenal, I got artillery, lyrics and ammo, rhymes and rhythm, then I'm gonna give 'em on piano. Bring a bulletproof vest, nothing to ricochet. Ready aim at the brain, know what the trigger say. Tempo strifle, felt like a rifle, massage and melody.
I found that on YouTube, just acapellas. I also didn't want to use it as like a main vocal. I just wanted to use it as another musical element, not really a forefront kind of thing. So I put this flanger effect on it that I have a 14-day demo on. That's what you hear right there. And I baked it into the audio so I could have it later once the 14-day demo runs out. That's what the flanger looks like. It's pretty cool. It sounds good too. And for some reason, since I have a universal audio interface, they give me 14-day demos of all their plugins every time I update. Seems like a glitch. Anyhow, I bake it into the audio, and I add a little more effects onto the new bounce, which has a decapitator, a little bit of auto pan, some reverb, EQ, and then with all that, it kind of tucks it in. Tickles the brain with that auto pan left to right. The next thing was just 2 more synth plucky sounds. Just fills the rhythmic space a little bit. I sent both of these plucks to the delay just to give it a little bit more of a bounce. I saved the project file under the name American Gangster because that movie was on in the background. I don't think that's going to be the final name, but it did influence me to sample the movie itself. This was after I started playing around with an arrangement in the other view of Ableton.
The most important thing in business is honesty. Never forgetting where we came from.
If you want to make something sound electronic music-y and it's just a talking sample, just pitch it down and add some reverb and delay. You'll be set. Well, thinking about the seamless transitions of this track and how to achieve it, I decided to add some reverse crashes and regular crashes just to help the listener's ear out a little bit, keep them refreshed. The hardest part about arranging these tracks is when I have the other view, which is just a bunch of different loops and sequences. I could imagine a layout with those in 1,000 different possibilities, and to choose this one was just one of many I could have gone with. But that leaves it open to, if I ever perform this live from the project file, I could make an alternate live version that loops out for like 16 minutes and has different sections. That's the beauty of having it laid out in the other view. Right here is the master channel, which has a utility effect of turning the bass frequencies mono and 1176, a Pultec EQ, and flatline 2 right here. But that's something new I'm working on still. Since I'm used to using flatline 1, I use 2 instances of that usually. Now, I can just do it all in one flatline 2. If you stayed to the end of this video, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a thing or two about music production, or just the genre in general. If you want to listen to this full track, it'll be up on my Bandcamp. And let me know down in the comments what you want to see next.